All right, we're going to motion, we did exec. So we're going to call public session to order. We're going to stand up for the pledge. Good. Pledge allegiance. I'd like to just take one moment of silence just to have a reflection. Obviously, with the community going through what it went through over the last month, just want to take a moment of silence. Thank you. We're going to move quickly on to the superintendent's report.
Good evening, everyone. Tonight we're going to continue with our budget presentations, our budget workshop number 2. We are going to be reviewing an update on state aid, benefits overview, athletics, buildings and grounds, security, technology, and transportation. So we do have quite a few of our colleagues here to help with the presentation, Mr. Thode as well as Mr. Harrell. And at this time, I'm going to turn it over to our Assistant Superintendent for Business, Mr. Osorio, to start us off.
Good evening, everyone. As Dr. Soto mentioned, we are going to be reviewing initially the state aid update. We have received the governor's budget, so we are going to be comparing with last year, and we are going to have a benefits projection. This is an estimate again, and after that we will have like some special guests, the director of athletics, that he's going to be talking about the athletics program, and Mrs. Harrell, that he is going to be talking and telling us like about the facilities and the grounds management and the plans that we have for the future. So basically, we receive our numbers for the governor's budget, and we have a minimal increase this year. The foundation aid just came shortly like 1% increase. We have a reduction in the building aid, as well as in the transportation aid. These are like a mild reduction, and was expected because we are getting out of some debt in the building aid side of the things. That's why we have to plan in the future to add more capital projects to keep basically the aid, and we can generate more capital exclusions. The BOCES aid came a little bit higher as well. This is because we actually are using more the services with BOCES, especially in the technology side and the curriculum side. We are going to BOCES, and that's reflecting in the aid for this year. But now when we go to the benefits projections, we have an increase in total of $1,032,000, which represents a 7% decrease. This is basically related to the ERS, TRS, and health benefits, which are mandatory increments that we have every year. Again, we don't know the health benefits percentage that is going to be increased next year. We just have an estimate, and we do the best as we can calculating all the salaries with that. Regular reviews of this is, like I said, this is the first estimate, and we are going to keep reviewing over like the next 2 months to get to the sweet spot when we actually balance our budget. But as like I said, our initial projection is like an extra $1 million just in benefits. Now this is the important part. As the state is like giving us like our state aid increase, we can see in our graphic that we have an increase of $145,000. Meanwhile, we are going to have an expenditure of almost $1.1 million in benefits. That's why we actually have to be really careful in like all other expenditures in the district. And normally this is mandated because of the This is because of the health cost that is increasing year by year by big margins. You know, last year we got hit by 9.7% more in average. So we are like having to do some adjustments in the other programs. Now I'm going to pass the microphone to Mr. Troll. He's going to talk about the athletics programs for the past year and the next year.
Does anybody have any questions based on those first few slides?
Oh, and one thing, you know, like we can like keep the questions for the end of the presentation so we can address all at once so we don't stop the flow.
Yeah, I was asking the board specifically.
Oh, okay.
Not audience.
Okay.
All right, good evening. We wanted to start off with some highlights. If you look at the chart over here, these are some of the things that have happened this year as far as some repairs and some enhancements. You'll see in the middle is the external cost, meaning that if we farmed this out to vendors or companies, that's what it would cost or did cost. But if you see irrigation clock, painting the middle school gym and the locker room, and the press box renovations, we actually did those internally, and so those middle numbers did not take place. We actually saved money on it by doing it internally. And I would be remiss if I did not say that Mr. Harrell's expertise and him being hands-on, I foresee not only more of this, but just overall improvements to our district facilities. So I'm blessed to have him as a colleague, and we've gotten very close in working together. So with that being said, all of these enhancements I'd like to show, and I have not had a chance to practice this, but I'd like to show on the video. I just click here, right, Ricardo?
You click there, and then you're just going to open it up, though, to Jeremy. So you're going to expand it to the entire page. So
I'm just going to say to the board, if you want to sit over there so you could watch the video and the presentation, that might be a little more helpful.
Welcome to the Athletic Department highlights for the 2025-2026
I
academic
mean,
year. This video outlines key projects and improvements undertaken. We invested in new athletic signage with an external cost of $24,000, enhancing the visibility and recognition of our sports programs. Fencing was installed around the track, softball, and baseball fields at an external cost of $1,500, improving safety and boundary definition. We upgraded the irrigation clock. The internal cost was $190, with an external cost of $1,500, showing a difference of $1,310. The irrigation pump was replaced with an external cost of $14,000, ensuring proper field maintenance and water conservation. A mobile concession trailer was acquired at an external cost of $25,615, which will support fundraising efforts and improve game day experiences. Painting was completed in the middle school gym and coach's office. This project had an internal cost of $400 and an external cost of $1,500. Further painting updates included the middle school gym and locker room 2, refreshing these critical areas. Press box renovations were undertaken, costing $3,700 internally and $28,000 externally, resulting in a difference of $24,300. This provides a better facility for media coverage. We replaced winches in the high school gym at an external cost of $12,000, ensuring the smooth operation of gym equipment. Tennis court repairs were completed for an external cost of $7,500, maintaining safe and optimal playing surfaces. Varsity baseball field renovations began with an external cost of $17,000, focusing on essential groundwork and repairs. These renovations continue to enhance the field, ensuring a high-quality playing environment for our baseball team.
Hold on, let me just.
Okay, before I move on to the budget requests, are there any questions on these repairs and upgrades?
The baseball field renovations, didn't we have a donation for that? Was that included?
Yes.
That's not a,
Yes, we did. So the overall cost,
17 out of pocket?
That is correct.
Additional 10?
so the overall quote to the district was about $28,000. We did receive a $10,000 donation from the foster family that offset the cost. So the ultimate cost of the district was $17,000.
any other questions?
And the tennis
That was that one strip you saw in the picture. That was fixed, yes. Anybody else? Okay, moving on. So as far as budget requests, you'll see our coaching. We have 85 coaches, 66 teams. There is a slight increase there. That's just contractual. Please understand that coaching, this coaching line or this budget line is coaching stipends, playoff pay, and intramurals. And we'll cover those things for the next school year. You'll see there in equipment, there's a request for $10,000 additional. Those costs are strictly two items or two areas. One would be upgrading the fitness room in the high school gym, and soccer goals for the soccer season. So that's those increases. High school supplies and middle school supplies we're keeping flat as a request. Those costs are really strictly uniforms and then everyday seasonal supplies like balls and hats and things like that the coaches need on a seasonal basis. This will be year 3 of uniform upgrades. I envision majority of the high school and middle school uniforms will be replaced after this year, with some going into the following year. But that was one of the goals of the last 5 years, is to upgrade all of that. You'll see officials, that is referees, for lack of a better word, and that's contractual. There's a high increase at section 11 for those fees, but that's strictly referees. Services, you'll see an 18,000 plus increase request. I want to point out that this is really a Board of Education decision. That $18,000 is really bringing Huddle back. So this year, so this is really, 13,000 isn't really an increase from this budget to next budget. It's just placed into the correct area, which is athletics. So that's the 13,000 if we want to continue with the Huddle program. For those of you who are not familiar, the Huddle program is videotaping, scouting, highlight films for all of our athletes, and it also is expanded to all of our sports. So any of our coaches can use it, any of our kids can use it in all the sports that have that videotaped. Previously, individual teams would either fundraise for it, which would be a pressure on the parents, or the booster club, or things like that. So this something we have this year that was in the budget, that was found in the budget this year, that we're just transferring to the athletic budget for next year. So it's really technically, I guess, not an increase from budget to budget. Addition to that, the additional $5,000 are 2 requests that the board can consider. One is, if you recall, we have for the first time competitive cheer, where they do competitive events at different schools throughout the year. So I've asked for $2,500 to help in choreography. This past year they fundraised that money, so I wanted to try to help if I could do that. And the second part of that request, $2,500, is a consideration of the board to do coaching association dues. This was something that was brought up in the past. Well, it's been brought up many times. So just so everyone is familiar, the varsity head coach every year has to pay dues to their coaching association. So every varsity coach has a dues. It ranges anywhere from $75 to almost $200, depending on the sport. And those dues are required in order for our athletes to get awards at the end of the season, like all county, all league, all things, because they do plaques. So that's where that money comes from. So it's been out of the pocket for coaches previously. I'm asking for consideration of that to be covered by the district because it's a benefit to our kids. It's a nominal fee, I think, overall for all of our teams, but that was a request that was brought forward this year to put into the budget. So again, $18,000 increase is the increase is literally Huddle, if we want to reinstitute that for next year, and the 2 requests of choreography for cheer and coaching association dues. Supervision, and I want to thank Mr. Osario for this, because we went through things that I don't normally go through in my budget from year to year, 2 of which being transportation and services. And the increase really isn't necessarily increase. I guess the money was found in different codes in previous years. This is just, again, to make it correct. But supervision really has to do with timekeepers, chain crews, shot clock operators, announcers. It's bare bones to just those types of things, and the need for supervision at high-profile events like a county championship, where we'll have teachers, in addition to the security, go and make sure our fans and everything's working properly as far as spectators and so forth. So that is just a correction of what's accurate in the request of a $9,000 increase. It's really not that much. It's more of a contractual increase, but we found it to, again, Mr. Osario doing his due diligence and getting me involved in the process. We want to ask for the correct amount of money so that it's covered properly. So you'll see it a 6% request, but it's really not 6% based on my explanation. But those are the numbers that we're requesting. Any questions on
Any
this
questions
slide?
for Jeremy?
Is Huddle, how many sports does Huddle cover?
Oh gosh, off the top of my head, any indoor sport that's in the gym. I'm sorry.
Okay, I'm sorry, a couple of questions, yeah.
Okay, so any of the indoor sports in the gym, any of the sports that are using the turf, because they gave us cameras. We paid for cameras, one in the gym, one on the turf. We have the option or the opportunity to get a portable one, which will expand our ability to use that, say at baseball or softball or whatever else. So that's something I can explore. So it's really technically any sport, but you don't even need the Huddle cameras to have Huddle. We can videotape it any way we want, and then you can upload it to Huddle, and Huddle does the film breakdown, does the highlight films or whatever else. So any sport technically could use it if they want to. It's really up to the coach.
And are parents utilizing this or know about it? And
So
how many are using it?
Right, so it's not a parent thing, it's the coach, and then the coach has the opportunity to invite all of the kids on the team to get an account, and then the kids can go in and create their videos and get their highlights and things like that. Again, we just started this for the winter season. So we had it in the fall, and we were able to upload because we didn't have the cameras yet, and then we had to get them installed correctly and all that kind of stuff. So football has traditionally used it, volleyball has used it, basketball has used it, but now we can expand. Wrestling is now using it this year. So everything's being recorded that's on the gym, on the turf, so anybody can use it. And then, like I said, as we move forward and learn more, we're gonna expand it to any sport.
And with Huddle, it's our ability to stream for free for our families. Once that everything is cleared up, we can then have a link directly to our YouTube. They can go right on the page or our channel, and then families in Florida can watch their kids play sports for free, not subscription based.
Any other questions? And then, and my last slide here is requests or enhancements. These are things that, again, I want to thank Mr. Harrell and Mr. Osario and Dr. Soto. These are things that, a lot of things we might be able to do internally, or in my conversations with Mr. Harrell, his ability to find cheaper ways to do the things that we can do that would cost a lot more if we didn't. So one of the things, if you look into the high school athletic hallway, we've had that repainted, the floor is black, the walls are red, and I requested that enhancement, that we do that. That's something we can do internally. High school wall padding, and the fourth one, middle school wall padding. If you go into either of those gyms, you'll see certain pads that are ripped or torn or whatever else. This would be an astronomical cost if we replaced them all. But again, Mr. Harrell said, we don't have to replace them. We can keep the boards and the foam. All we have to do is reupholster. We could save a lot of money, and he got those quotes. So we can enhance that. As you know, for high school, we use the high school gym for graduation. It looks a little shabby right now, so this is something that can improve it. Installing storage cages. We have very limited storage in the high school or in the district in general. This is, again, a request to install metal storage cages in the spaces that we do have, so we can separate things by sport. We can keep it protected from getting damaged and things like that. Interior gym doors. Again, if you look in the gyms, you'll see them marks and scuff marks and things like this. This is just, again, an internal thing that we can do to make things look nicer. Same with the middle school gym and locker room, painting that. Again, an internal thing, thanks to Mr. Harrell. Very great savings. You'll see replacing the high school folding wall with the curtain. We have a wall in there that breaks a few times a year. It costs an astronomical amount to service it and to repair it. We would like to take that down and put a curtain like we have on one part of the gym or in the middle school. So that's that request. Replacing the softball backstop and varsity and JV backstops. Again, if you look at the one as you enter the back parking lot, the JV one's there, it's rusted, it looks bad. So these are, again, requests to upgrade the appearance and make us proud of all of our facilities. Replacing the winches in the middle school gym. As you heard earlier, we had replaced the high school winches, which brings up the baskets. The middle school, they have old school ones that use a drill bit. And again, it's only a matter of time before those break, so that would be to replace those winches just like the high school. There's a request to put sound system in Clayton Huey in the middle school gym so that the principals have the ability to use the sound system in either of those locations for different events and or sports. And then the very last two requests for enhancements are the weight room renovations and the wrestling room renovations. As many of you know, if you go into our weight room or our wrestling room, which dubs as a locker room, they're very small. They're not necessarily attractive. We try to do our best we can. We're trying to get our kids to use those spaces more. So this would be to expand those rooms into the locker room, getting rid of some lockers that we don't necessarily need to make these rooms bigger. That's a big project and that's a big consideration, but it would enhance the rooms, and I think they'd be well used and more strategically used. So, for example, wrestling doesn't have to get kicked out when it's football season or lacrosse season and they have an off-season location. Or we can have a dance room or a yoga room for different reasons, for curriculum or outside use or whatever else. And the fitness room, it's gaining more and more popularity, but we just don't have the space. And we have to break up teams to be in there. We have to break up classes to be in there, to have like an area that's largely cardiovascular, and then another part that's a resistance training would be ideal. So those are just requests that we have to enhance the facility as well. So those are just a bunch of the things that we would like consideration for at some point.
Any questions? Everybody's good? That was it. I appreciate your time.
Okay.
And thank you for meeting with everybody to have kind of the request. Kind of different this year. We asked for administration to really meet, discuss, enhance, talk about, how do we improve, what's in the trenches that you guys need. And this is where you're going to start to see throughout many of our presentations this kind of come through. So this way we know exactly what people need to succeed.
We are going to continue with our facilities and grounds crew. We are going to invite Mr. Harrell for the presentation.
You want to go back just one?
Oh,
Yeah, I see you skipped one. Go back.
sorry. Okay. Come here. I will put the video for you.
Okay, good, thanks. Oh, might as well just keep this.
Oh, okay.
Can I ask one question? Sure. For the sound system for Cleveland Huey and middle
Hold on,
school,
let me
can
just
I
close
have
this
that
thing.
itemized, if we were to consider only, say, doing middle school and not Cleveland Huey or whatever, like, just kind of see the differences, are they exactly the same price?
Yeah, that's a facilities that we would have to get that.
Okay, because
I'm
then
sure
we'll
we
on
figure that out.
this,
Yeah.
okay,
We could totally get that separate.
thank you, sorry. Okay.
Okay, good evening, everybody. I'm Chris Harrell, facilities crew leader here. I have a team of 18 people, 11 custodians, 3 maintenance personnel, and 3 grounds guys. And my team here this year, what we enhanced and highlighted here for the district, renovated the sport room, deep cleaned the bleachers, and we renovated the lobby at the elementary school, worked on the cafeteria floor, and basically to get to the point of this is how much money that we saved by doing it in-house. It cost us $7,150. If we would have done that externally, it would have been $84,000 and change. So we saved the district by doing all of that work in-house, $77,000, which was a lot of savings to the district.
Can I just jump in real quick?
Yeah, go ahead.
Last year, the board made a decision to really enhance our facilities. Previous years, our grounds guys were trying to keep up, right? And often it doesn't really get received if you're trying to keep up. So we noticed that last year, coming in as a group of individuals on the board, we decided that we needed to help this out. When you start to look at the internal, the external, and the difference, don't get lost on all three columns. Just notice that there was a monster difference, and that $77,000 savings was the reason of bringing in people internally rather than outsourcing all the time, because we can get things done faster. This guy can't be praised more. I don't even know how to say it. He can't be praised any more than he probably has already. He probably goes home and no compliment even suffices anymore because it's all done here. But that is a direct correlation to an amazing hire, in my opinion, for this district, because he walks around this place like it's his, like it's his own. So I just wanted to pause for a moment, because that doesn't just happen. That's an employee doing tremendous work, going above and beyond to really make us shine. So thank you.
Appreciate that, thank you.
Can I just echo it, and I don't want to embarrass him, but, and I don't know how much the board knows, but when I tell you that he is responsive, when I tell you that he goes above and beyond, and he has so much pride in the work, it is so refreshing, and it is a gem for this district, what he does and who he is, and again, I can't say that before.
Thanks.
And I will embarrass you at some point. Sorry, I'm gonna have to jump in at some point. Continue your presentation, please.
Okay, so, yeah, so, what's that? Okay, yeah, so I don't know, you can take that thing.
So we are going to show, like, in video, the progress that the facilities department has done with the lead of Mr. Harrell. The main idea is, like, we are bringing custodials and maintenance workers that they know what to do the things. And with his knowledge, he's sharing with everyone else what can be done in-house. So the video will reflect that.
Welcome to the Buildings and Grounds highlights for the 2025-2026 school year, with data current as of February 1st, 2026. Boardroom renovations cost $1,000 internally and $11,000 externally, resulting in a difference of $10,000. Here you can see the room during and after the renovation. The deep clean of exterior bleachers cost $100 internally and $3,500 externally, resulting in a difference of $3,400. Elementary APR renovations had an internal cost of $2,000 and an external cost of $18,000, for a difference of $16,000. For the elementary main lobby renovations, the internal cost was $600 and the external cost was $5,000, with a difference of $4,400. High school cafeteria floor renovations had an internal cost of $360 and an external cost of $3,000, for a $2,640 difference. These images show the removal of the old floor. These images show the continued process of the high school cafeteria floor renovations, including the completed new flooring. High school main offices renovations incurred an external cost of $37,000. The images show the updated flooring and office furniture. These photos continue to showcase the newly renovated high school main offices, featuring new carpet and office setups. Kindergarten counter installations had an internal cost of $840 and an external cost of $9,600, resulting in a difference of $8,760. Painting of the exterior gym doors had an internal cost of $400 and an external cost of $4,200, making the difference $3,800. You can see the before and after transformation. Secondary display cabinet renovations cost $400 internally and $4,000 externally, resulting in a difference of $3,600. These images show the work in progress. Here are the finished secondary display cabinet renovations, now ready to showcase achievements. The Unkachog Resource Room renovation had an internal cost of $900 and an external cost of $6,000, for a difference of $5,100. Installation of the water spigot at the district office cost $300 internally and $1,500 externally, a $1,200 difference. Next, we will review the projects handled by external vendors. The auditorium renovations had an external cost of $1.2 million. The images show the substantial upgrade to the seating and interior. Boiler section replacement at the secondary complex had an external cost of $37,000. These photos illustrate the replacement of the old section. Elementary bathroom renovation work shows significant demolition with an external cost of $300,000. More images of the elementary bathroom renovation show the progress, including new walls, ceilings, and flooring. The next project completed was the elementary walkway. Finally, we completed the removal of the propane tank at the high school.
All right.
If I could just say one thing, I'm gonna just for 1 second, John. So we did use AI to produce these videos, and I think they did a really not a bad job. Right, Don? I think you have to say on Dr. Perry. But one of the things I do have to correct in the video is that when it says and external, it's not and. It's a difference between internal cost versus external cost. Meaning if we went out to get an outside vendor to come in and quote us on these jobs, which we did, that would have been the cost. The difference, the savings, is actually $77,000. And this is because of all the work that, this is the embarrassing part, Chris, I'm sorry. But all the work that Mr. Harrell and his team did. Because when I sit with Mr. Harrell almost every single morning, and we evaluate the work that we need to do. There is no job that this man ever tells me he cannot do. So this afternoon, we had a plumbing issue at the elementary school. We had one last night, too. I was at the 9th grade orientation, enjoying the presentation. I get a call from Mr. Rowe about 7:30. We had a pipe that burst at the elementary. He was here, and I was on the phone with him until about 11:30 last night. That's why we're both pretty tired. But we addressed that. This afternoon, we had another pipe that cracked at the elementary school. He crawled under the crawl space and fixed it himself this afternoon before he came here tonight. Before he went home, I'm assuming you took a shower and you got dressed.
For the second time
He was
today.
ready for the second time today. He did the same job. This is the amount of dedication and love that this man has for the district. And I have to echo what Mr. Kennedy said. By far, one of our best hires we've had. And I can't believe I've only known him for 9 months because it feels like 9 years.
Yeah.
So thank you.
Thanks.
And I don't think he's used to presenting, so we really threw him for a loop.
Yeah. I'm good with tools. All right, I think, all right, yeah, so this is where I go into the building repairs. We're gonna try to keep it at 0, because again, like I said, a lot of stuff we can just try to tackle in-house, so we're gonna keep that the same. I am looking for an increase in equipment because the big expense is lawnmower and a drag machine that we need for our baseball field that we just got. And the lawnmower, you know, is so old and antiquated, and it just, and we really do a really nice job, the grounds guys, keeping the curb appeal really nice around here. So I want to make sure they have the right tools to keep that going. Let's see, the ground services, negative, and the services, the outside vendors that we need, you know, everything is going up a little, but we have to keep that going because of different services that we need as far as, you know, like the cesspool company that I had to have here. The stuff that we can't handle on our own. So there was a little increase there. And the supplies, everything's going up little by little, but we have some plans to try to cut back on stuff, you know, and let's see. Oh, you have it. Okay.
One more.
Okay, so, all right, so we want to do some enhancements for the buildings. We try to prioritize and do little projects in-house. The corner projects, the corner protectors in all of the schools, they're terrible. They look really bad. They're beat up. So for $400, I feel like we can get all the corners looking really good in shape. You know, we can do that in-house. The ceiling and the lighting, we're going to try to do most of that. I don't know why I don't have an internal cost there, but we're not gonna be doing all of that work external. A lot of that will get done internal. The bathrooms, we have no choice but to get done outside. It's just too heavy for the crew to deal with. The elementary school, the classrooms, we did a bunch of classrooms last year, and we're gonna continue to do more this summer, over the summer. We'd like to do the elementary hallway. We're gonna paint and renovate that and bring that up nice. The same thing with the Main Street gym area in that lobby. When you first walk in, we wanna really make that look good for the public when everybody comes in. And we're gonna continue with the renovating the classrooms in the 200 wing. We'd like to, complete those classrooms. There was work done in them already, and I'd like to just keep that going and, repair the walls, take down the old blackboards, put up some nice whiteboards and corkboards, and really spruce the classrooms up. We definitely need a playground slide for the children. It's pretty bad that they don't have a slide in this whole district, but I wish that, it was cheaper, but everything's just so much money. The renovation to the LGI, we're gonna take that. We got some quotes to do the carpet. What we'd like to do is put the same carpet we put in the auditorium. I think it's gonna look really good. Paint it the white, just like we did the auditorium. It'll kinda mirror it. It's gonna look really sharp. And the split unit in the auto shop or maintenance shop, whatever we have no heat in there right now. We have a lot of equipment that we keep in there, paint, a lot of money worth of paint for the fields that we buy, and with no heat, we had to actually relocate everything to another area. And I'd like to get that fixed, just make a better work environment for the guys in the shop there, and to protect our equipment and supplies that we keep in there. A trailer is, to me, something that this district really could use. It will help me so I can transport my lift and everything from one building to another, because we have no means of doing that. And if equipment breaks down, we have to literally pay people to come bring it to a shop and stuff like that. If we had our own trailer, we can save ourselves some money and just deliver it ourselves. So that's all I got with that. Any questions?
Any questions for Chris?
I guess mine is towards you. For the playground slide, I know a lot of the elementary age kids have been talking or chatting a little bit about potential like fundraising, because obviously that's a really good thing for them to do, and Dr. Fernandez was interested in it too. I don't know if you've heard anything, or there's been any
I haven't.
progress on that. Maybe like if Clara had ideas and talked to the school. Oh yeah, sorry. Forgetting. I just wanted to bring up the slide because a lot of the elementary kids are chatting about the playgrounds at slide and like taking initiative and coming up with ideas of fundraising already. And so I was just saying, just briefly, I think when I was with the Girl Scouts, it said something to Dr. Fernandez, and I didn't know if Clara, being our officio, if you had ideas too, if you wanted to bring up with the students for fundraising as well.
You want to take this first, Clara?
Sure. So recently I met with a group of elementary students. I think it was just 5th graders, and it was kind of like what I spoke about last time, the student panel. We were just getting ideas about the school and stuff like that. And we did talk about the slide. They really are excited about getting a slide, and they really want a slide. But we didn't mention any ideas about fundraising, but we're going to have meetings in the future, and I'm sure I can bring that up and also talk to the principal and vice principal.
Thank you.
So I know that we've been into preliminary conversations with the PTO as well as some student groups to see if fundraising and even if the PTO can kind of offset the cost. We will continue this. We know that this is the $20,000 amount that it would take us to get and install a slide. So we put that full amount in. If other organizations such as the PTO or fundraising can kind of offset that, that would be great. But we can't really rely on that, so that's why we put the $20,000 in.
I believe at the last PTO meeting, they were talking, the slide was a hot topic, and I think I don't think anything is set in stone, but there was talk of doing like some type of run and raising money through, like, with the reading challenge, they did the Cheddar Up, where you get a sponsor, and then you know, rather than reading, you would be completing a fun run. So that is definitely in the works, I think, or at least being talked about pretty seriously.
So that would be earmarked under equipment anyway, right? That would be in the 2000 codes? So that allows us to be able to maneuver things around if, let's say, they came up with the money and maybe we enhance something else for them. It's a small token for happiness down a slide. We saw adults just get very happy about the slide. So what's good is that we heard a young student from the elementary school come forward to us, articulate their wish and desire on behalf of students. And then Clara was able to then go, as Dawn was saying, to work with the elementary school students. Dr. Fernandez was jumping in. So what's really fun from the community standpoint is everybody really wants a slide. So at that point, this community does a lot of things really well, and getting together to get things done often does happen. So what's really good is that money isn't adopted yet, if you think about it, right? So we have some time if it gets adjusted, but at the end of the day, it's in an equipment code which allows us to at least have the autonomy to be able to help with things. So, great job on your first presentation for us.
Thank you, Mr. Troll and Mr. Harrell, for all the information. Now let me give you guys a little bit of background of what is going to happen with those requests. Right? Those requests haven't been included in our budget, so we will have to prioritize and see which ones of those are going to make it to the 26-27 year. We actually have contemplated all the requests from all the departments. We are going to be doing the same thing for the elementary, for the middle school and high school. And we are going to work as a team in the future, and we will decide which projects will make it to the next year. We already understand about the donations that some groups wants to do it, so that will allow us to basically make other projects possible. That's the main idea. In the security, basically we have employees from the district, and also we hire like a third-party company. As noticed there, we have like the elementary, the high school, and the middle school from what the last year's salary was and the next year salary will be. We have a really an increase in the security salaries because of the events that we host. Also, you know, there is a lot of after hours or like activities that we have, and the increase of salaries that is normal every year. We have a total increase of 5.59%. We are going to try to have new policies to reduce those costs, and that's in the works as well. In the technology overview, we have interesting proposals for the technology for next year. We actually are trying to increase our services with BOCES. We do that for many reasons. Because of Education 2D law, we are compliant. We know that we guarantee that all of software and services that we are provided by them, they are like under the law. And the second thing, because we may receive reimbursement. So that's why we are trying to move all of software to the BOCES or as much as we can. The increase that we are pursuing is at 7.72%. In equipment, we are keeping the same rate. It will be like just for Mr. Nofi to basically replenish the devices that he needs. The important part here is like that we want to continue with the one-to-one initiative. This is what the district decided years ago, that they are going to be providing Chromebooks to all the students. So most of the Chromebooks that we bought in the past, we need to replenish in the second cycle, and that's why we are actually acquiring new computers for the next year. We will be doing this thing year by year, like until we basically have this initiative. And one of the things is like with more technology, there is more demand for the services. That's why the costs have been increasing. We have been working with Mr. Nofi, and we are saving like money in like the access to the internet and things like these. But we still have to invest in our equipment, which is the most expensive part in the technology side.
Yeah, wait. Sorry.
Yes.
Your question. Oh, sorry. I just noticed you are putting a request for an additional person to be hired. On the
So
bottom
we have,
here. We're
again,
such
like we have like a
small
request from the,
district.
I'm sorry.
We're such a small district, so we already have 2 people on staff here for technology. So there's a request for a third.
Yes, like I said, we are taking the requests from the departments, and we are, like I said, we will evaluate all these requests in the future, and we will see if they make it to the next budget.
Are we talking full-time, part-time?
The goal, and is included there, well, it will be a full-time employee that will be located in the elementary, like focusing all the issues that they have to cover there.
Okay, in the one-to-one model, did we always have a one-to-one model for 4th graders? Because from what I recall with my older children, they had a laptop given to them, I thought, in 5th grade and on, and my 4th grader came home with a laptop.
That's a decision that we just made.
Yeah,
this,
I wasn't
yeah.
happy with that. Personally, I apologize, and I'm speaking outside of the board's voice there. But why did we make that decision?
Well,
Okay.
that will be out of my control. This.
Okay,
Let-
just because that's going to add to the cost. And then my next question is, parents can choose not to use the district laptops, and so they can choose to use their own
Yeah.
Chromebooks, which would then make less of a reliance on district resources. So I'm just thinking maybe we should communicate that as well, because if we're going to give these devices to the 4th grade parents now as a decision, we're going to increase costs, because those going to have to be replaced over time. Sorry.
It's okay. So let me address all 3 questions that you had, Dr. DePerry. The first one was regarding the staffing. These are just preliminary requests that came to us from the department itself. So you are correct. We do have 2 individuals that do work on networking. Mr. Nofi is predominantly the coordinator for the entire system. But he is predominantly stationed at the elementary. At the secondary complex, we do have a second person, a full-time person, and we do outsource a technician from Core BTS that we pay for. The thought behind the additional person was to free up Mr. Nofi to focus more on the server and networking side of his responsibilities. This is, once again, this is something that is part of the preliminary budget. I'm not sure that it's going to make it to the final round in terms of when we have to balance the budget and look at all the cost expenditures versus our revenue. I don't know if this is going to make it. The second, yes.
Can I see the JD for that, please?
The what? I'm sorry?
Can I see the proposed JD for the
Yes.
job description for that?
Yes, we can. We can. It would emulate the person that we have at the secondary complex right now in terms of technician work, looking at replacing toners, addressing minor computer difficulties that teachers are having, looking at smart boards, things like that. Not predominantly network-based job responsibilities, but more of the day-to-day functions of maintaining the infrastructure that we have here at the elementary. That would be the plan. The second question you had looked at the one-to-one device in 4th grade. I think the community knows, the board is fully aware that we've had a very difficult winter. And because of that, we had to call one snow day. There was a possibility that we were going to call a virtual instruction day. So when we began as an administrative team to look at that and the ramifications of calling a virtual day, we thought that it would be more advantageous to have 4th graders with a device at home, because there were equity pieces as well. Not every parent has a device at home that the child can access and do their work from home. So we were trying to start at 4th grade. We were even engaged in the conversation of 3rd grade, the conversation regarding our primary grades, K to 2. came up, and we are still kind of grappling with the fact that whether or not it is the right time for a young student to be able to bring that device back and forth to school. So we kind of looked away from that, and you had mentioned something about the cost factor associated with that initiative.
Well, that also, and we're communicating the idea that we're not bringing devices like cell phones and watches and, you know, child's brains.
Internet-based
you know, like
devices,
my
sure.
daughter took home the laptop and, you know, I don't want her just playing all of the little games on there. So she's still young. So I guess that can come into play with some parents and their concerns. So I just wanted to engage stakeholders in that decision before we start handing out devices to kindergarteners and first graders. That's all. So.
And I don't think that's the plan moving forward.
Okay.
Generally, from the perspective of our administrative team, we do not believe that that might be the path that we're going to follow. We believe that fourth graders and fifth graders are a lot more mature, a lot more responsible. We believe that they can burden that responsibility, and working in concert with the families to ensure that they are using them responsibly for instructional purposes. I think that would work. And I believe you had a third question. I apologize.
Oh, it's just the cost, because you have to consider the cost factor. The more, the younger the children are and the more devices you hand out, the more, like the higher the cost. And
So we did think about that as well, because when you, and this is one of the rationale as to why we did not make it a home-based one-to-one device across the entire district. Because there is a surplus of devices that there's a possibility we may not get back, or they may be damaged by going back and forth from home to school. So we know that we would have to factor in a 10% increase in devices that we would have to purchase from year to year. We are aware of that. Okay. Any other questions?
When you take a look at the cost across the board between the contractual work that you're looking at that additional person for, can you just let us know what the cost is that we spend currently on the contractual work that we're outsourcing versus what the cost difference would be by bringing someone in? Because we've learned, obviously, bringing stuff internally can actually save us money in the long run. So maybe there's some savings there that end up affording that person.
We can look at that. This is something that Mr. Osorio and Mr. Nofri were looking at. And there's the cost factor that you mentioned, but there's also the amount of, I think, dedication you get from an internal person versus someone that's coming from an outside vendor that's providing us a service. Even though I think we've been very happy with the individual that is working at the secondary complex, that is an outsourced person, I think he's been doing a great job under the leadership of Mr. Nofri and, of course, Ms. George, that works at the secondary complex. But that is something that we can consider and do a cost analysis and see what would be most beneficial.
It might be offsetting. That's what I'm saying.
It might be.
sorry, one more question came up with that, and maybe Bill would be the person to answer this instead. Sorry to put you on the spot, Bill. But this person who could help to support you, is it possible that their job description could do the functions that you're looking for, and also potentially help someone like Dr. Botcher with like teacher training, in terms of like AI education, like software support, like that mix that we talk about in our educational technology committee? Is that like, does that sort of
so civil service actually controls the job descriptions.
Okay, there's limitations.
There are limitations. So when you
save
go
the district money on
but
professional
when you go
development
to
costs with this
other positions that may be a little more demanding, that might be able to work directly with the teachers to provide direct instruction, the rate of pay is going to increase significantly.
Right. But instead of outsourcing the PD, I guess just to look at the
We
differences in costs.
definitely can look at that, but every year that we have a BOCES lease agreement, we get something from BOCES called Model Schools, where we get a certain amount of days per year of free professional development. Okay. And we have been utilizing those days very effectively.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay. And the last topic for this night is transportation. We have been exploring different alternatives for transportation. We have been analyzing route by route, trying to see possible savings. We actually are in capacity, so we are going to keep the same routes, and we are just going to add the CPI index rate for the next year. That will be our increase. We have projected that we will have an increase of $166,000, which is a 6.03%. That being said, we have the next workshop on March 25th. All the principals are going to be presenting. In that workshop, we will have some enrollment projections with Dr. Butcher and staffing projections as well.
I just want to say one thing regarding the transportation budget. It is inclusive of every transportation cost that we have. So that is the general education cost, that special education cost, as well as athletics. So when you look at that amount of $2.9 million, it is all of the transportation that is provided to the entire district. Including athletics. Yes, that is correct.
Athletics is 8% of the cost of the transportation.
Does anybody have any?
I just want to make it clear to everyone that the reservation kids have their own transportation contract. We have nothing to do with the school contract. So we have our own contract that goes straight to Montauk Bus. So so people can understand, because in your head, you're going to say, oh, well, they're transporting them and they're from here, but it has nothing to do with the district. We have our own, okay?
Yeah.
No, not at all.
So the Antioch Nation has a separate arrangement with New York State Department of Education. They provide tuition to the district for every student that attends from the Antioch Nation. They also provide the full cost of transportation. So this $2.9 million has nothing to do with the Antioch Nation's provided transportation. The only similarity is that they use the same company, which is Montauk Bus. Okay? I'm sorry, I didn't understand what you were saying.
I mean, they just participate in the athletics for the sports, so, yeah.
Yes, that is correct.
Any other questions or comments from the board? Good. Clara, do you have any questions? It's kind of a fun presentation, right? It really gets interesting as we keep going into this. We'd like to thank you for you guys, for coming out, for your time. The work that went into this is helpful for us so that we can understand the vision of this place. We're just a blurb on the board at the moment, meaning like in 5 years, some of us here, some of us not, but we want to know that we're doing great work for the future so that people can keep enhancing. So again, thank you guys for coming out. It was a long time probably in the process, but we don't want to hold you guys up. If you have to get home to your family, you're more than welcome to kind of get out of here. If a pipe breaks, you don't have to go under anything in your suit.
We're not doing it, Chris. Still early.
So.
Temperatures were rising.
All right, so we are up to committee reports. So we are, I'm going to quickly stop at Community Connections. We haven't had a meeting formally in the last few months. It's been pretty busy. Last Thursday, John and myself went to BOCES. I'm going to you want to speak a little bit about it? I thought I'd pass the mic a little. All right, passing it over. You got it, John.
So Mr. Kennedy and I both went to the BOCES open house and looked at all the programs that are offered to our juniors and seniors. We actually ran into, I don't know how many students and parents from Center Riches at that open house. There was a lot of interest from the parents. There was a lot of interest from the students. It was nice to see the different programs. I think we divided and conquered. You went to one of the buildings, I went to another, and then we met up, and then we went to 2 other buildings, and we tried to see as many of the different programs that are offered, and we could barely even touch everything that they offered for our students. I don't know.
Yeah, no, that was spot on. I put him on the spot for that, by the way, so I don't want to take it all on there. But it was informative. if you've never been to a BOCE setting, I think it's important for us to understand when we're sending kids there what services they're getting, what they're getting out of it. The Beacon program that gets them some college credits. So that was interesting to learn about what programs had. You learn HVAC, you can get 18 college credits. I never even knew that. So it was just very informative to see the facilities, to see the people that our kids go to, and then the opportunities. The other thing that Dr. Soto, myself, and Dr. Botcher went to was the legislative committee on Saturday. That was held at Longwood High School. So even though it wasn't localized community stuff, but it was something that expanded greater than us because it brought all the superintendents and the boards together into one room within Suffolk County. And you had different legislators speaking there. You had different students speaking there. One of our students happened to actually be speaking there. He is a Eastern Suffolk BOCE. Is he Eastern Suffolk? He's Eastern Suffolk BOCE's student. He was there, so that was really nice to see his growth from junior to senior year in terms of his ability going to that program. So it was overall a nice day. You also start to learn a lot because you start to think about like transportation costs, and you go, well, man, how does that keep going up? How do we lower that down? What can we do something? Can we do something together to help us reduce cost? You know, what are other schools doing to enhance certain ways? So it was really a good networking piece. So once we get back to that, we will get back to a regular scheduled agenda for community connections. Curriculum and technology. The last meeting was on the 18th. Do you want to speak to?
That was in November.
I know, but do you want to speak to the IB night?
Oh, I mean, yes, so tomorrow night, Wednesday, February 11th, we have IB night at the high school, 6 to 7 p.m. We're inviting all of our technology and curriculum committee members to come and learn about IB. And then we have our next curriculum and technology committee meeting on the 24th of February, right after the February break.
The facilities, health, and safety, the last meeting was January 7th. Do you want to, we briefed on that because it was the 10th. Yeah, the next meeting is March 11th. I will say facilities, health, and safety, you can see this presentation. All of that stuff is meaningful. It takes time. For years, we even have people in the audience, like Mr. Wagner, that has stared at BBS reports for years to try to help us figure that out. Having pieces to the puzzle to really look at the report and then tackle stuff internally is tremendous for us, so the facilities committee is huge. Health and wellness, just before the board meeting on the 10th, so we already, that was today? Does anybody want to report?
All right. We talked about the physical education elective possibilities for the upcoming year. They shared a lot of good ideas they had going on with the athletic training. There's a lot of interest in that. The unified sports, speed and agility, and they also were talking about maybe adding like a coaching and refereeing class, which would be a nice option for some of our students. You know, it's a nice part-time job to get certified, and a lot of the kids are already doing that type of stuff at a youth level anyway. Talked about mental health initiatives, and this week we're in the midst of PS I Love You, a lot of stuff going on at all the locations of all the schools, with the actual day being celebrated on Friday the 13th. And they just updated us on continued CPR, AED training. You know, we're just working on getting more and more people certified and ready to respond. A representative from the cafeteria food company was not there, but they did talk about, you know, some of the options that they're going to bring back to them, like getting tater tots to go. So I believe the next meeting is February. I could not find the date. Not February, April. April 14th, next meeting. 3 p.m., I believe. That's it.
The policy was just before this board meeting. We did not get through our ambitious list. We made it through 2 out of the 9. But we're working our way through. I got to say, policies boring and exciting at times, right? But it sets the tone. It could be, you know, it sets the tone for the future boards, and then obviously the systems that get put in place for the school district. When we're looking at policies that have been around for 1970, and we're looking at something in 2026. It's kind of nice to know that we're tackling certain things. It does take time. The board has to really dive into this stuff. So just so you know, policy isn't just a simple task. It's pre-reading before, so we get homework too. And then we come in and we try to figure out what's best fitting, and then we go back to the committees if we see something needs to be back. So that is all of our committees. So now we have up to the questions and comments regarding tonight's agenda only. The guidelines for public comment. This is an opportunity for persons who wish to speak or who have written letters to the board regarding topics that are included in this agenda. Speakers are asked to sign in with the district clerk, indicate your topic, keep comments brief, and speak for no longer than 3 minutes. Refrain from discussing matters involving specific district personnel or individual students. Please stand and speak into the microphone so that everyone can hear, and those joining us on the live stream can hear you clearly. Members of the public will have the opportunity to speak about any topic at the end of the meeting. Does anybody have anything that they would like to speak about? Is any? Yeah.
I just wanted to say something about some of the things on the agenda just related to college prep that's been added, like SAT. We've been approving things like SAT prep, work for kids to get help with their essay, like personal statements and things like that. So I want to say thank you to Dr. Soto and Dr. Botcher for that work. I've been talking about this for many years, for all 3 years that I've been here, and before I've been on the board as a squeaky wheel. I also kind of want to say, like, I'm sorry to the class of 2026 that we didn't have a lot of the stuff in place for them. We really tried last year. It was a period of transition to do that. But I'm really glad moving forward that we're going to have that. And so I just wanted to say thank you to the administration for putting these things in place. And I think we're going to be setting up our students for success. So I just wanted to say that.
Anybody else on this agenda? All right, we are up to the consent agenda. Be it resolved, the motion to approve the consent agenda items 9A through 15A. Do I have a motion? Motion. Do I have a second? Second. All in favor? Yes. Yes, and then we're going to pause for a discussion.
Yes. So this evening, we are accepting the retirement of two amazing individuals, Stacy Lopez and Jennifer Perez Porter, both educators that reflect the values and professional attitudes they expressed early as aspiring educators. During her job interview in 1997, Ms. Lopez shared a philosophy of education in her writing sample. And I do have to credit my secretary, Ms. Barr, for finding this for me, stating that while students come from many different backgrounds, all children have the ability to achieve excellence when educators create an environment for success. Throughout her career, she exemplified this belief through her reliability, involvement in clubs and school activities, and her commitment to mentoring and developing leadership in others. In her writing sample from September 2001, Ms. Porter emphasized the importance of flexibility, openness to new ideas, and always placing students' best interests first. She dedicated her career to serving students in classrooms at the middle school and as a resource room support at Our Lady Queen of Apostle here in Center Merchants, while also generously giving her time to chaperone school trips, dances, and concerts. Thank you to both Ms. Lopez and Ms. Porter for their years of service and their lasting contributions to the district. We will miss them, and we wish them a relaxing and enjoyable retirement.
Does anybody have any? We'd like to thank them. I know, I was just making sure that, I wanted to make sure if anybody had something to say and congratulate them, so I knew to look right.
Ms. Lopez is my daughter's 4th grade teacher, so I'm sad. But congratulations.
And I'm overly excited about Ms. Porter because Edward had her for 2 years and he loved her. So I'm excited that she can get to retire, and I'm happy for everything that she's done for him.
All right, we are on to, did I skip the non-public? The general comments, not on tonight's agenda. The same rules apply as before. I'm not going to go through all of the comments because I learned I didn't have to, but I did repeat them before. Does anybody have anything that is not on tonight's agenda that they'd like to bring up from the board or from the public? Everybody's good. You know, when you sit over here, you learn to pause just enough, do a look around, make sure that you don't overjump too fast. But we are now at the informational items, the announcements. Some good stuff going on here. Our next Board of Education meeting, that should obviously be first as we announce, is March 4th. Oh, sorry, I just realized that's my wife's birthday. So March 4th, we're here. Happy birthday. We have the executive session at 6 p.m. We are approximately being here at 7 p.m. Then policy meeting would be beforehand at 5:30, right? So upcoming district and community events. Wednesday is February 11th is IB night, as Dr. Botcher stated earlier in her curriculum update at 6 p.m. Thursday is Thursday, February 12th, Red Devil Pride Booster Club meeting in the high school cafeteria. Friday, 2/13 is UPK registration deadline. We have the 13th PS I Love You Day district-wide, and then we are closed for a midwinter recess, 2/16 to 2/20, back in session on 2/23. Come back on the 24th, right at it, we're going to curriculum and technology meeting at 6 p.m. Then the high school drama club presents The Sound of Music, February 27th from 7 p.m. Saturday, the 28th at 7 p.m. Sunday, 3/1 at 1 p.m. Tickets are on sale now. If I'm not mistaken, I've seen some social media blast that they are pre-selling the tickets. The other thing that basically I don't have in front of me right now, but I do know that we are entering the playoff season, the state qualifier seasons. We've had some really good stuff happen. We had Layla Cole, I think, made state qualifiers last night. We still didn't hear about the boys from today, but we had our basketball team, I think, is playing on, this is all off the top of my head, so bear with me, on the 18th against Amityville, right? So, you know, we got a lot of great stuff happening. Wrestling, oh, thank you. This is off the top of my head. This was, please help me. Perfect. So I'm going to go backwards so I don't feel like I missed anybody. State qualifier, boys and girls track. Like I said, Layla Cole has made it to the States as a state qualifier. It was actually a really cool scene to see. Large schools, small schools. The wrestling is this Friday at Shoreham, so that is an opportunity for our kids to go in the counties and go against one another. And then on the 18th is the boys basketball in Amityville. Then when we get back on to March 7th and 8th, we have Layla Cole going to Ocean Breeze in Staten Island. So we have a lot of cool stuff going on, not only academically, but we have it athletically. We have it within the play. We are pretty much everywhere. At the Section 11 event for wrestling, yep, I'll just pass it over.
Yeah, I was just going to say that we have shirts that have been made up with Josh Gutowski's name on the back that the boys will wear to the tournament, and in a future fundraiser there'll be shirts available for students and the community to purchase in honor of him.
Thank you, guys. Motion to adjourn. Second. Is there, were you racing for the second or something else? Oh. Yeah, all in favor?